sugar and spice. There's an apple pie in Sammy's Cottage kitchen.
Hi, I'm Sammy Hollenberg, and we are in Sammy's Cottage kitchen. I don't know exactly what I'm planning to make today, but I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Hang on a second there, Sammy.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
Before you get started, I have a surprise for you.
What, flowers, roses?
Your CD arrived. Brand new CD.
Oh, that's exciting. We've been waiting 3 years for this, thanks.
There you go.
Let me introduce you. This is my husband, Jack. And he's my partner in crime, guitar player. Wow. What a good job they've done. What kinds of pictures?
So now you can make something that is compatible to your CD.
That's awesome. There's the disc.
Wonderful.
Look at it. It looks awesome.
It's a kaleidoscope.
Well, we spent 3 years working on this together, and we still like each other. I tell you, there is hope.
Boy, I tell you.
It's awesome.
You have fun.
Awesome. Thank you. I will. This is inspiring. This is inspiring. Do you know why? We titled the album. It took 3 years. I should first talk about that. And for all of the people who haven't seen some of the other shows, we've been working on this for a long time. But life tends to get in the way. The reason it took 3 years is because life got in the way. And, you know, we just never gave up because the artist in us always stayed alive. And that's a part of our passion. I love to cook. That's another one of my passions. I'm a passionate person. What can I say? Anyway, thus the song, Life's Kaleidoscope. Because life does get in the way, but you can't let it stop you. And that's what the song is all about. But that inspires me. I think today I'm going to make appetizers, and I'm going to make a specialty kind of appetizer salad. And it's all going to be in the form of kaleidoscopes. I'm just going to get all kaleidoscopy today. So I just got to go and get things out of the kitchen, put the CD away. We'll play a few tunes off of that eventually as we go through. Okay, to the fridge. What have I got in here? What can I do to make kaleidoscopes? Woo. Okay. I have Belgium endive. I've got some little tomatoes. Oh my gosh. I just got to get it all out here, as I'm not sure what I'm going to all use. I'm going to make some, do you know, I had some dough already worked up, but I'm going to show you how I make the dough with some little cups. It's amazing. That's another thing I want to talk about. It's amazing, really, what you can do with a few leftover things in the fridge, and that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I made some egg salad yesterday. I might use some of that. What else can I use? I'm going to, first of all, take out some butter and fat because I'm going to show how to make the dough. Oh, lots of things I need here. But I don't want to have to keep on going into the fridge. So I'm just going to get everything out of here that I think I need. And be guaranteed I'll be coming back in the fridge because I will forget something. That's how it goes. Get a little older, get a little forgetful. I love to cook. And I think it's very important to love what you do. And that's what I'm trying to show people right now. Okay, first things first, I need this bowl because I want to show you the dough that I'm going to make. It's the basic pie dough, and I got to get this done first because it needs to get in the oven because I'm going to be making a variety of appetizers on the plate. So, need a couple cups of flour. Couple cups of flour. Oh, it's so exciting that the CD came. I'm just hope it sounds as good as it looks. It's looking good. It was a labor of love as well, but it took some doing. We've got 7 CDs that we've written and composed and recorded because we're artists, you know. And as you will see when I'm putting this food together, it's an artistic happening. And that's what you do. Okay, so now you got the fat and the butter in the flour. I'm not giving all the exact measurements because, well, first of all, I don't exactly measure sometimes, but I'll be kind to all of you, and I will put the measurements on my website and direct you toward my website by the end of the show when you're at all interested. I like putting a little bit of salt in this dough. Now, what I'm making are tiny little cups, tiny little appetizer cups. They're going to go into this. This is a silicone cupcake thing. It's awesome. You never burn anything. You can pop everything out just like that. I'll show you that as I go along too. Good old trusty pastry blender. Little story behind this bowl that I'm using. It's an awesome bowl. And I use it all the time when I have a smaller batch of things to do. Comes from Holland. My husband's Dutch. And it was his mom's. And so I've inherited it. The interesting thing, though, between now and then is I must have at least 20 bowls that I use. I've got my favorite bowls, of course, but this was her bowl that she baked everything in. And I think she had another bowl for doing, I don't know, when you did salads and things, but it was just not heard of to have as many bowls as we have nowadays. And I guess the funniest thing is that I still pick and choose to use this bowl. Maybe out of respect, I'm not sure. But interesting how men tend to choose women a little bit like their moms, they say. And I unfortunately never got to meet my mother-in-law because I met Jack that year that she passed. But his brothers and him all tell me that I'm like their mother. So I always tell Jack that she directed traffic and picked me out and he got exactly what he deserved. That isn't always a good thing. Now, I need a fork. And we need some cold water. So all I've done now is put a little salt, flour, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of shortening into this mixture. Simple as that. It's very similar to a pie dough. I'm going to put some cold water. Oh, that's hot water. Cold water into the dough with a touch of vinegar. I already have a little bit of vinegar in this dish. And that will bring the dough together. I have to say a funny story about, I just baked an apple pie the other day. In payment, I was getting these aprons done and designed over at the art farm. And Bruce Hutton says to me, I got a deal for you. He said, I would like to exchange an apple pie for your aprons. I thought, what a deal. So he got an apple pie and I got a text back from him and he says, okay, that apple pie was awesome. How many more aprons do you need? So it's always a good feeling, you know, it's a gratifying feeling when that happens. Okay, so now what you see is the dough. It's just going to come together nicely like this. Very simple dough. You don't want to overwork it. The moment you overwork the dough, it becomes tough. Such a difference between pie pastry dough and bread dough. Bread dough loves to be worked. I'm going to demonstrate that in one of my next shows. I'm going to just take a good piece of this, pull it together. Now I have the good fortune also of having flour at my fingertips because this island, also something my husband made for me. In fact, he made the whole darn kitchen, so that's pretty awesome. He likes to eat, so he figured it was an easy trade-off. He says, I like to eat, and she likes to cook. She likes to sing, and I like to play guitar. That's why we make a good team. Now, always when you're rolling out dough, a little bit of flour, and you always start from the center of the dough, like this, and roll it out. Kind of important. I hear B.B. King in the background. I love to cook with music. Go figure. Yeah, It's nice to have a little bit of music. When I'm cleaning house or doing anything like that, I blare it. Then somebody comes to the door and I don't hear them and they probably think, oh, what kind of crazy person is that maybe? Okay, just as simple as that, this dough is ready. Now, put away the flour bin. And I'm going to wash my hands because I always use cold water when you're working with dough for cleaning your hands or your tools, because otherwise you'll just cook it on, right? Okay, I've got a nice little perfect size cutter in order to put that in there. Now I have, well, I think I'm going to use the this edge, not this edge, because I need it to be just simply like that. So now I'm going to need 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count. I am the count. Maybe I can't. I remember doing a lot of baking and cooking when the kids were little, and that's what we'd always do. I am the count. Okay, now you just put them into this little form. It's very simple. Kind of make sure it's nice and fits in there perfectly. Now what I'm going to fill this with is a spinach and feta mixture. So if you know about spanakopita, it's kind of I guess our Canadian way of making spanakopita, only making them in little cups, because it becomes a delicate bite. Everybody can just, pop it in their mouth or take one bite out of it, and it doesn't fall apart and it doesn't make a lot of crumbs. Now, I love spanakopitas too, don't get me wrong, but I just like making always my own doughs, and spanakopita has to be made with phyllo pastry. One of my other shows, I will show you how to work with that too. It's hard to work with. You have to work fast, and you have to use quite a bit of butter with it. So that'll be another time. Right now, I just happen to be inspired with the kaleidoscope idea, and I want to just quickly put a dough together like that, and take this dough. I'm just going to set it aside. In fact, I'm going to refrigerate, and then I got more leftovers. Huh. But I know what to do with leftovers, so it's not a problem. Now, what did I all take out of the fridge? Oh, yes. No, that's not it. I got some cooked spinach. I told you I'd have to go back to the fridge. I'm going back to the fridge because I have some spinach that's already cooked in here. I do. And I have some feta cheese. Now I've got a little bit of spinach, got a little bit of feta cheese, nice bright bowls. After all, it's a kaleidoscope. I'm going to put the spinach and some feta mixed together like that. See? It's all chopped up. A little bit more spinach. And I have a little bit of bechamel sauce, a little bit of a cream sauce that I had made earlier. That's easy. It's just, I put some butter with a little bit of onions and a little bit of flour and milk and cooked it into a bit of a sauce. Now that's going to hold this together. And I don't want to melt up the cheese before it gets into the oven, so it's easy to just do this. Mix it all together. Yeah, I was a little bit pre-organized without even knowing it. The reason I'm getting busy fast with this one is because I actually need to get that in the oven. I want them cooled enough to go on the plate. Everything else I'm doing is cold appies. So yeah, you get this kind of a goopy look. Doesn't look like anything much until you get it into the tart. Now I'm going to bring it over here. I need a small spoon. I'm sure glad everything's at my fingertips. So just a little scoop into each each cup. Simple as that. Got to use your finger for some of these things. But that's okay because you're constantly washing your hands when you're in the kitchen. In fact, it's very important to do that. Even if your hands are not in the dough, you have to do that. So, just about finished. I'll pop those in the oven. I'll just let them set for a minute because I'll have to preheat the oven before I put them in as I'm getting started on everything else. Oh, how's that for perfect? I think I got the exact amount. And I didn't measure. It's a beautiful sunny day outside today, which reminds me of kaleidoscopes as well. Everything reminds me of kaleidoscopes. Okay, get that ready for the oven. And I'm going to put the oven on to 250 because I don't want them to cook too fast, and start. So I'll let that sit. I'll put this to the side. All right. My next endeavor is eggs. I boiled a bunch of eggs. I think I'm going to make a specialty egg dish. I didn't think you wanted to stand there and painfully watch me peel eggs at any time, so I just did that already. Now, it's not just a deviled egg that I'm making. It's going to be a really special kind of deviled egg. You see, I've got avocados here. I'm going to take I'm going to slice the eggs, and then I'm going to take the yolks out and mix the avocado with the yolks. I've got a nice sharp knife here, which I'm going to need. Oh, I got another really nice bright bowl. It's a little bit of work when you're doing deviled eggs because you got to cut them. I don't know how many I need, probably about a dozen, the same as I did with the little cupcakes. Trick to keeping the egg yolk from sticking to the knife, just to have a wet cloth. A wetter cloth. So I'm wondering if any of you have ever had deviled egg with avocado. See, when you take the yolk out and you just pop them out like that. And you whip them up together, you know, because you want to put them back in again. It's never enough filling to make it pretty because I want to be able to pipe it in and make it quite nice. So now I'm just going to put them to the side as I cut them. And like I said, I needed a wet cloth. Yeah. I'm getting hungry. Should have had breakfast. Huh. I usually have breakfast. I had some fruit. Fruit on the fly. So just like that. Pop out the yolks. It's fun. I'm trying to think of what else I'm going to make. I'm going to make salad, the nice little salad thing, and that's a specialty thing that's made with Belgian endive. Belgian endive or chicory, I think people call it. The other thing you do with a deviled egg is if it's kind of too rocking and rolling on the plate, you see how it rolls like that? Well, you can dry it a little bit first of all because it's kind of slippery on the plate, right? There. I'm convinced I must have played with my food when I was a child because it's what I love to do. So you see, it's drying off the bottoms a little bit because they're wet. And they'll just slide all over the plate if you don't do that. Now the other thing that you do, in the very bottom here of the egg, you just take a wee tiny slice off. You don't want to cut into it, but you see how solid it's going to sit? It won't rock and roll. Huh, no fun at all. No rocking and rolling. like that. So as you can see, I'm pre-preparing the egg shells first. Then I'm going to whip together the egg yolks together with a little bit of mustard, touch of horseradish. Actually, what I like using is a little bit of Japanese horseradish. It's called wasabi. I like that. And because I'm going to be using the green, that'll be my oven calling me. So I'm going to pop it in the oven. All my little ends and bits and pieces here. I got to tell a funny story about the, I got a lot of stories about deviled eggs. I had a dear friend of mine visiting, and she was from Holland. Her name's Saskia. And she said, and she wanted to stay for quite a while because she had a notion that maybe she'd like to move to Canada. But she said, I don't want to be a freeloader, so I would like to be able to help. And we used to live in Okotoks. And I had a catering company there. Yeah, busy. So we would cook for between 200 and 400 people very often. But one job that we got, oh, so much work, was all appetizers. And it was for the grand opening of the Canadian Tire in Okotoks. I said, sure. Didn't know what I was taking on because I needed to make like a dozen different appetizers. And I put my dear friend Saskia, who still likes me after that, but refuses to ever make deviled eggs again, had to make 300 of these. And you see how tedious it is. It takes forever to just do up a few eggs. But if you love it, you do it. But she had no idea. I'll never forget. She said, are you crazy? I said, should you be asking? But speaking of which, her and her mom and dad, she lives in Sweden now, are coming this fall, or I guess in end of August, September. And I very seriously am planning to make her do some deviled eggs. Okay, setting this to the side, I need another bowl. Oh, I need to be taller. So I've got some deviled egg shells sitting here. I need to throw these in here, eggs, put my kaleidoscope part of my cup away. Now I need to do up an avocado. One of the best ways for getting the stone out of an avocado is you just do this. Takes it right out. I'm going to need a little lemon juice. Back to the fridge with me. I knew I'd never have everything out of the fridge that I wanted, but it was a good idea at the time. Lemons, I got lemons. Oh, I need the mustard. You need a lot of things when you're doing this. You just think you got it together and then, yeah, you need more. Lemon. Okay, and a fork. More forks. I've got a good camera crew here. I think it's just awesome. We are filming for Access, by the way. So I'm hoping you get a chance to have a look at these cooking shows on Access. I need to have another spoon. So first I mash up the egg yolks. Gonna want to do that. Mix it all up. Gonna put some avocado in there. Smush that all up. You can use blenders and fancy machinery if you want to do this. I got a beautiful mix master back here, which I will use one day. But I just find a lot of this, again, if you love what you're doing, you do it because you love it. So now you put a little bit more in there. I'm going to have to put lemon juice in because, of course, we don't want the eggs to turn brown. It just wouldn't be very appetizing now, would it? Not at all. Smash it all in there. Now I'm going to put a little bit of wasabi. That's what I was talking about, wasabi. And it's basically a horseradish. It's just that because I'm kind of making it a green color, I'd like to be able to add that color to the egg yolks. Now I do believe those little tarts that I cooked are ready, and I want to get them out of the oven because I need them to cool down a little bit before serving them. So off to the oven. And when you do it with silicone, you can handle it almost without a pot holder. It's kind of cool. Although, one thing for sure is you do get asbestos fingers after you've cooked for a while. I have a little bit of egg salad mixer that I had mixed up in my fridge, so I'm adding a little of that, but you don't have to. It's just because I want to make little mountains when I'm making the deviled eggs. That's what's funny about the deviled eggs too, because you're going to make them up like that and you think, oh, do you know, I'm finished, but then you have to put decoration on them. It's actually pretty funny. Look at that. Looks pretty appetizing. Green eggs. I don't know if that's appetizing or not. Of course, you always need a little bit of pepper, and with eggs, always a little bit of salt. Now, I'm also going to add just a touch of this sweet onion mustard. I just think it adds a nice flavor. And the other thing that I had already in the other mixture was a touch of mayo. If I wasn't using that mixture, I would have just put the mayo into my mixture. Okay, I think we're ready. And it's all by hand, like you don't have to use a machine for that. You can, but I prefer not to. Now I'm going to bring these back here for a minute. I got a scraper, and I have piping bags. You know, ever since we've done this kitchen, I open the wrong drawer every time. I think I have to switch. Scary. Kind of scary. I like to think it's because we change things and it's not my mind going. Okay, so you see we got a nice mixture going on like that. Now we'll decorate them at the end. Now you're going to take the piping bag like that because you don't want to have it all smeared on the top. And I'm going to take the mixture. What's nice about this is I can put the whole mixture into this bag and I can keep it in the fridge for if I want to make some more later. Or if your guests are really hungry and like those deviled eggs, but you just don't have enough prepared, well, you've got stuff ready to go. You can even pipe that down onto it's called a piping bag, onto a cracker or anything. Just having that mixture is a wonderful combination of things. So now, I'm going to take this. I'm very happy that the avocado is okay because sometimes you get them and they're just not so cool. So now you're going to just pipe it in like that and you're going to make a mountain. See? That one's rocking and rolling and I cut the end off. What's that about? It's called rosettes. You got to make it very generous like that. I can't wait to eat one of these. I think I'll wait, because then we would have the wrong number. That wouldn't be cool. No. Sometimes I just like sprinkling a little bit of paprika on the top because it's such a nice combination, and not everybody likes hot spice. So there, look at that avocado. Oh, that one's got robbed. Oh, that's a terrible job. That's coming out of there. And that you can do too, by the way. You just take it out if you didn't do it quite right. I need more practice. That's what my husband always says, or my brothers. You need to practice some more, right? Because they want to eat. It's a kind of funny story from my brothers too. Actually, my brother Sid lives here in town. And I swear he can smell when I'm baking a pie. And he just appears. And my husband always says, how come he's here? How come he's eating my pie? You know, it's a big competition. Pretty funny. That's my family. That's cinnamon. I don't think cinnamon and deviled eggs is good. But I have put the paprika into a little thing like this so it's an easy dusting. So, see? Just a nice little sprinkle on there. It just adds for decor. All right, so those are ready, but they got to sit in the fridge while I'm making a few other things. Look at that, beautiful. The beginning of Piece of the Kaleidoscope. Don't they look like eyes or something? Monster's eyes. Okay. The little tarts are ready, that's perfect, so that's another part of it. Now I have some cream cheese over here. I just put it to the side. There we are. I'm going to move this because I don't need this anymore. To the side. Do I need any of this? Lemon juice. That's what I was going to put more lemon juice in there. We're not going to let them sit long enough. We're going to eat them. Okay, now I'm making something with a little bit of cream cheese. I'm going to whip that up. I've got a bowl here and a mix master. I did it again. I opened the wrong drawer. I've got a plug-in right here, which is really handy. And this little mix master has been around forever. Like I said, I got the big machine down there. But this one has gone through every catering I did and still survived. Scary. Have to get a bowl out of my pantry. I'm back. It's funny because like I was talking about using my mother-in-law's mixing bowl and how she would just use one bowl. I don't know how she did that. I'm the queen of dirtying dishes, I think. As my family will vouch. All right. Mix this up. I just got to whip it up. Just to soften it up because I need to put it into another piping bag to put on some crackers. I've got to get some horseradish out of here. Like I said, not everybody likes really spicy and hot things, so you got to be careful how much you put in. That's why I have little spoons, I think. Love these little spoons for measuring. You don't need much in this, just like, you know, that much horseradish. It's just for flavor. Again, a touch of pepper. Don't need the mustard. Put that to the side. And I'm going to whip that up, and it's going to go into another piping bag. Now, only part of this is going to get used for the crackers. And the other part is going to get used for the salad that I'm making. I'm going to want this to be delicate. As you can see, it's a bit of a tedious happening when you are making appetizers. So you better enjoy doing it. And people often will say, I'm just going to put some nachos and dip out there. And I guess that's good too. It's just not my way. So now I'm just going to pipe a little bit of this into this piping bag. And on another plate, I'm going to lay out these crackers. You'll see me assemble everything at the end to turn it into a kaleidoscope. You're probably wondering, how is this going to be a kaleidoscope? You'll see. Okay, so again, another piping bag. If you do not have piping bags like this, You can just take a plastic bag, simply take a plastic bag, and you put your stuff inside of it, and you leave the very corner empty, and you just snip off a corner. I'll show you that at one point. Because not everybody has the piping bags, and that's a fact. Okay, so this is a nice organic cracker. I like them. You can get them anywhere, and they're gluten-free for some of your friends who have gluten issues. So that's a good thing to know. Oh, tipsy-turvies. So now I'm just going to take some of these crackers and lay them out. They're made with quinoa, flax, sesame seed. They taste so good just by themselves. You wouldn't even have to put anything on them. In fact, sometimes I do just nibble on them like that. They're wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to do this sort of thing. Now you just take, again, a rosette. You just make a little thing like that on it. Oh, it's coming with me. You see what I'm doing? So you just put a little rosette on it like that. And I'm going to use a little bit of smoked salmon on this with a little touch of dill. Can you see it coming together yet? I can. Okay, we just put those on here. Okay, I didn't make the crackers. I'm slipping. I would never be able to make them like that. They're wonderful tasting crackers. I'm just going to set those to the side. Guess I can put those back in the box. Crunchy, crunchy, that makes a lot of noise. It's louder than me. Okay, now put this to the side because I'm going to need that for the endive salad. I'm getting myself quite a cluster of things back here. But I got to get now into the salmon. I have some smoked salmon here. Smoked sockeye salmon. There's a lot of Canadian stuff being made here. You betcha. We have the best salmon ever. Now, when you're doing this, you need very little salmon to go on there. So you just peel away little pieces. When it's thin enough, you can do that. But this isn't very thin, so I just have to cut it. I'm going to put it over here. Put the plate back over here so you can see what I'm doing. It's very simple. You just put a nice little piece of salmon on there. And I'm going to decorate that with dill. There you see. Yeah. I hear B.B. King in the background. There you go. Tedious, tedious work, but nice. You know, you just got to make it as pretty as you can. Now I'm going to decorate that with dill. So you just need little bites because that's the whole point of an appetizer. You don't want to fill people up before their dinner. So you want them to have something nice before their dinner for your family or your friends. And you want to be able to present something very pretty. So that's what I'm giving you the recipe for, to be able to present something very pretty. Like that. Wow. No, nothing's ready yet.
Just checking.
My husband coming in the back. No, it's not ready yet.
What are you making?
I'm making a kaleidoscope platter of appetizers. So this one here is with cream cheese with a little bit of horseradish.
Ooh.
And I'm going to put a little dill on it. Smoked salmon, of course. And the crackers, the non-gluten crackers. And I got to find my dill. It's over here somewhere.
And I get to be the guinea pig.
You do get to be the guinea pig. All the time. I said you built
It's
this.
a rough life, I tell you.
I said you built this kitchen because you like to eat.
Among other things.
Among other things. I said I like to sing.
We'll have
You like to play guitar? See, look at this, how pretty it is when you put a little bit of dill on it. I'm growing trees out of it now. By the way, the dill is from my garden. I'm growing the dill. I grow all the different herbs that I want to use in my cooking. Now you just decorate each one of these with a little bit of dill. Is anybody exhausted yet from watching me? Because I'm sure you're all thinking, it's a lot of work. It's not. I'm sitting here. I consider it playing. My husband just popped in. He's actually working today. And while he's working, I'm playing. That's what I always say when we're playing music too. You can't really say you're working, can you? You can't really say you're working. It's kind of like playing. Okay. This is looking cool. You seeing the finished product coming together? All right. Okay, this stuff is all going to be prepared. And at the end, I'll put it all together because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to get the kaleidoscope salad together. It's an awesome salad that everybody can share. You know, a lot of times you serve the platter to everybody or a plate to everybody. You know, maybe everybody doesn't like the same amount of salad. I know my husband always says, as much as I try to get the greens in them, yeah, just give me a small one. It's always funny. But this, the one I'm going to make, is actually one that you can just take one thing out of it at a time. So it's kind of an appetizer, but it's a salad at the same time. Well, that one didn't work. Okay. The last tree didn't want to stand. What do I say? I made these too for that Canadian Tire party that we cooked for in Okotoks. So when she saw me doing that, she didn't feel quite as bad, my friend, making all the deviled eggs. There, isn't that beautiful? It's just pieces of art. Now I have to get that refrigerated before, because I'm not putting it together yet. Pretty. It's good not to put it on top of the eggs, though. It may not survive. All right. Now for the crowning glory. I just got to get a few things out of my way and keep some things that I need. I'm going to put these eggs back in the fridge quickly because I don't like leaving things like eggs or cream out of the fridge, or fish has to go back in the fridge. I know I said in the beginning of when I was doing this, I'm not going to go back in the fridge. Right. Don't believe a thing I say, except for the recipes, of course. It's always good to clear your path just a tad when you're getting to work on something else. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. But I need some of this. So, because I was working with fish, I'm going to use the other side of the cutting board. It's just being careful with food. I wiped it off, but at the same time, just want to be careful with food. You don't want to cross-contaminate, it's called. I'm quite a stickler about cleanliness. All right, this is Belgium endive. Does anybody know what that is? You can get it in almost all of your local or larger grocery stores. It's, the color of it is light like this for a reason, because it's grown like white asparagus is grown kind of under the dirt. So it doesn't get dark green like our asparagus here in Canada. The most of it that we grow is green. I love it. But in Europe, it's not. Okay, come down to now. I got perfect plates for doing this kaleidoscope thing. Look at this. And I got a kind of a lazy Susan thing going on here. Isn't that perfect? Woohoo! Oh, well, that's not in the center. That'll make me dizzy. So, I'm going to put that here. Some things off to the side. I took the outside leaves off. It was already pre-washed. And now, what I need to do, if you can see what I'm doing, that'd be great, is peel off these. I'm going to cut the very end off, like this. I was introduced to these when I was in Europe, and I did get a great chance for cooking in great restaurants and really nice places. I cooked in a place called Down in Krautberg. Can you say that? Sounds like I'm clearing my throat. And it was an old castle restaurant in Holland. And I got to work in the kitchen with some of the finest chefs. Great experience. And that's when I first saw this. I never knew about it before that. Never knew about it. So that one's got a hole in it. I don't want to use it. I need a perfect kaleidoscope. So you just tear them off of the stem like that. And I'm putting them really close. There's going to be something in the middle. You'll see in a minute. Ah, that was torn too. Oh, I'll never do. I probably tore it. There we go. My favorite music playing in the background. The song you're hearing in the background actually is me from my Winds of Change album. And my husband, of course, playing it. It's called Winds of Change. It's weird to listen to yourself. People always ask, do you listen to yourself when, do you listen to your CDs? And we go, no, because it takes so much work to make it that you sort of hear yourself, you get pretty sick of yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. There, look at that. So that's the beginning. Woo! Does that make you dizzy or what? I love it. Now I have got crab meat in there. And I'm going to pipe that. I've got air in it. So it's going to go pop. In there. I'm going to do every second one because I've got different things to put in it. Wow, it's coming together. What's going to happen if it's uneven? Does anybody know what a kaleidoscope is? Do you all remember what a kaleidoscope is? It's this wonderful tube with all the stones that fall and they turn from flowers into diamonds, diamonds into flowers, and when you try to turn it backwards, you can never find the same pattern, not ever. So it's an interesting idea. I think I'm just going to do this differently. I'm going to put a little in each one because I have it, and I've got something else to put in front of it, right? All right, now, where did I put that? Oh, I'm lost. I'm putting things away. I'm lost in my own space. Space being the key thing. I have to find another piping bag. Now remember I had the egg mixture? So I'm going to put some egg mixture into there. So now I'm having a cream cheese mixture with a little bit of crab meat in it. And this is like an egg mixture. So now I'm going to put a little bit just in the front like this, right? So you're getting now the different colors, and I'm going to decorate with different things, you'll see. You know, while I'm decorating and putting this together, I'm going to have you listen to one of the songs off our album. I'm so excited about this album. And the song is Life's Kaleidoscope. Just going to check on a few things while you're listening.
When I was a child, I received a very special toy, a kaleidoscope with a wish for each twist and turn to bring me joy. Each twist of the wrist kept me amused for hours, watching flowers turn to diamonds and diamonds back into flowers. Then with the slightest of hand, all those stones came tumbling down. As I grew, I quickly knew this was a lot like life somehow. Little twists and sudden turns, like the stones the world turns upside down. And that's life, not always kind, not always as you hope.
Asparagus tips.
The alteration of life in all its scope is just one turn in life's kaleidoscope. Ring around that rosy pocket full of posy. Life throws curves and we all fall down. Pick it up, dust it off. There's no time to mope. It's living and laughing and loving and crying when dreams collide with hope. It's just one more twist, one more turn in life's kaleidoscope. Have you ever tried to turn it back? That kaleidoscope. Those stones just never fall
Together quite nicely.
the same way as you hoped. Like life, lay it forward, let the stones fall off your back. And you can't fix it, you can't go back. And you can't live in the past, leave the past in the past.
Roasted sweet peppers. Make it prettier. I hope you enjoyed that song from our album. As you can see, this kaleidoscope is coming together. The song was called Life's Kaleidoscope. And, well, sometimes, not very often, I'm serious. So I always tell people when I'm serious, you ought to pay attention because it doesn't happen too often. See now what I'm doing? I'm slicing these baby tomatoes and I'm sticking them between like that. So now we're really getting it coming together.
One little twist, one tiny turn in life's kaleidoscope.
Woohoo! And then I'm going to quickly put the platter together with all the little appies. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I say kaleidoscope. I need to have a wee little fork in there because I will show you later, because I am going to be sampling, that you're going to take a little bit of that and you're going to take a little boat and you're going to serve yourself. Now I'm just going to put it over here for a minute to show you the kaleidoscope. See when you turn it to have it on a little lazy Susan? Does that look like a kaleidoscope? I think that looks like a kaleidoscope. Yes, I'm convinced I played with my food as a child. I'm going to grab things out of the fridge. Okay, very quickly put this together because it's all ready to go. Just needs to be on the plate. Grab these because now I've got a hot appetizer, and I've got these. So I'm going to put those on this plate very quickly. Plate it up like that. And because I cut the bottoms off, they're not rocking and rolling, right? And that's the whole point of it. Okay. A little bit of distance between them like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put crackers in the middle. Ooh, this is looking pretty. If they don't all fit, it doesn't matter because you always keep some things for replenishing, right? It's what you do. All right. Then you put some of these and they pop out so beautifully because it's silicone, right? So you just pop them right out of there. Popping them out. Popping them out. And putting them around. And around. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me again today at Sammy's Kitchen. You can find me on my website at sammyrosehollenberg.com. I will have the recipes in there for you. I will have my music in there for you. What else? Photography. Just everything. You can spend a whole bunch of time just doing that. But before I say goodbye, I want to show you this platter too. Isn't it gorgeous? Now you tell me if this isn't a kaleidoscope happening. Woohoo! I'm going to show you what to do though very fast. I'm going to bring this one back here for a minute. Now, this is how you're going to serve this. And I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. You take one of these little boats out like that so everybody can share it. And you just take a little bit of that roasted pepper in there. And I'm going to tell you, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. And I know you will too. So happy cooking. Always be happy when you're cooking. And we'll see you again on the next show.